In 1994, the Oxford Dictionary credited the music group the Beastie Boys with coining the term mullet. 1994 also saw the debut of the George Foreman grill. It has sold more than 100 million units worldwide. 1994 was the year that Lisa Marie Presley married Michael Jackson. In 1994, the World Wide Web was born. We know it today as the internet. No idea if Al Gore was there or not. The PlayStation also made its debut that year, and most of us haven't seen our kids since. Both Yahoo and Amazon were founded as companies in 1994. 1994's number one TV show was Seinfeld. Making its debut that year was the TV show Friends. Kelsey Grammer won the Emmy for the role in Frasier, which also won the Emmy as Best Comedy. 1994 saw Candice Bergen win an Emmy for her role as Murphy Brown. The number one grossing movie of 1994 and the Oscar winner's Best Picture was Forrest Gump. And that was no small feat. The films that were released in 1994, Shawshank Redemption, The Lion King, Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, and Dumb and Dumber. Now, and speaking of Pulp Fiction, of course, the director of Pulp Fiction is Quentin Tarantino. And on the set of Pulp Fiction, you may remember they were driving a 1964 Chevy Malibu. It was stolen from the set, but it was recovered in 2013. The 1994 Grammy for Record of the Year went to Whitney Houston for her cover of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. The number one country song of the year, I gotta do that. It was John Michael Montgomery's I Swear, and the number one song of the year was Boyz II Men. The difference in country and rock was I'll Make Love to You. The 1994 Time Magazine Man of the Year was Pope John Paul II. Super Bowl 27 was won by the Dallas Cowboys. That's just the cheapest trick in the book. When you're with a crowd, you say anything Dallas and, The NBA champs were the Houston Rockets. The Stanley Cup champions were the New York Rangers, who all got so drunk afterwards at a strip club that they left the Stanley Cup in the strip club. The 1994 World Series was won by nobody. The players were on strike. The 1994 winner of the Indy 500 was Al Unser Jr. Winning the 1994 Daytona 500 was Nashville's Sterling Marlin, driving a Chevrolet. 1994 was the inaugural year of the Brickyard 400, won by Jeff Gordon, driving a In 1994, NASCAR Winston Cup champion for the 7th time was Dale Sr., who drove a... There was another monumental Chevrolet connection in 1994, of course. Almost exactly 25 years ago, we gathered here to celebrate the grand opening of the National Corvette Museum. At that time, the NCM had about 1,500 members, 200 of whom were lifetime members. Today, we boast almost 36,000 members of the NCM. Give yourselves a hand. 5,000 of those are lifetime members. And it's probably not a stretch to say that without the National Corvette Museum, there very well may not have been a Corvette Hall of Fame. Its first class back in 1998, Ed Cole, Harley Earl, Bill Mitchell, Joe Pike, Larry Shinoda, and of course Zora. They were all inducted again in 1998. In the 66 years of the Corvette and 25 years, 67 if you count 2020, which I think we do now that they have revealed it, but in the whole time of the Corvette and the 25 years of this museum, there are only 68 people in the Hall of Fame. The bar is high, it's very high, and it's high on purpose. To be a Hall of Famer means that they cannot write the history of Corvette without using your name. Being a Hall of Famer means that you made an indelible impact on the history of the Corvette. And that's true whether it's in your role of the three categories we have: General Motors, Racer, or enthusiast. Tonight's trio of inductees are, of course, no exception, as being inducted in the Hall of Fame tonight are Dolly Cole, Briggs Cunningham, and Tom Peters. Now, before we meet them, as we celebrate this huge milestone with the National Corvette Museum, I'd like to mention two other milestones, and you've kind of already heard about them. One, of course, is the Board of Directors chose a new leader in Dr. Sean Preston. He's our CEO and president. Been on the job since June 1st, and now that you know what he looks like, make sure you grab him over the next couple of days. Sean, we're so thrilled to have you as head of our organization, and his wife, Jillian. Thank you. They came to Bowling Green about July 1st. He's been on the job since June 1st. The other milestone, of course, is the retirement of Wendell Strode. Wendell has served the NCM as CEO and Executive Director since December of 1996, and he'll retire officially January 3rd, 2020. You know, Wendell, your 23 years of service to the NCM could never be understated. A few years after it opened, I think, as we've heard the last couple of days in some of the panels, the NCM fell on some pretty tough times, to the point I think its very existence was threatened. Not only did you rescue the NCM, you led it to the prosperity that we enjoy today with these 36,000 members. Even though you're self-avowed as not a car guy, I can tell you that there are 36,000 people and about 1,000 of them here who are sure glad that you were the NCM Executive Director and CEO at that time and preserved this shrine to the car that is closest to our hearts. America's first and only sports car, of course, the Corvette. And with that in mind, as we prepare to meet the 2019 inductees in the Hall of Fame, and I guess I should have asked the board if I should do this first, but my term is done in a couple months, so. It is my pleasure to announce to you that the 2020 class of the Corvette Hall of Fame will include Wendell Strode.